How's it going, YouTube? Jamie the Kid 00 here, coming to you guys with a tournament diary for the first locals of the March 1st ban list. And I played this locals with Mermails. I still feel that Mermails is probably the best deck going into this format. It's going to fall out of favour as soon as like Hidden Arsenal 7 comes out and Verz and things like that start seeing play. But for now, I feel it is probably the best deck of the format, because wind-ups are completely gone, and Fire Fist may be a close second to this, but I feel this is the best deck, so I ended up running it. I took it 4-1 today, taking a loss in round 4 to a Dark World player who opened Storm Card Destruction, so that was fun. But otherwise, I feel pretty happy with it, and one of my wins was a bye, so I guess that doesn't really count. So I went 3-1 and a bye win, but hey, win's a win. I ended up taking third. I'm not sure if I said. And it's alright. It was kind of a Trollsy build that I built on a Wednesday because I was bored with the build that I've been playing. And after seeing the Billy Break and Jeff Jones deck at the top, the Mono Mermail variant, I thought I don't want to play Undines anymore, but I don't want to play their horribly OTK dedicated deck. I want to play something that still has plays in the late game. And that's how I came up with this. It really had zero testing. I really think it's quite bad, but it's still Mermail, so it's still pretty damn powerful. So, to talk about my matchups, because I like to do that now before I do the deck profiles, because the profile's kind of boring. I took a bye round 1, which was fun, so I just did judging for that. Round 2, I ended up playing against Dark Worlds, a good friend of mine who usually beats me, but game 1, he just opened no discard outlet. Game 2, he deck dev'd me for -3, but I eventually managed to play out of it, I think. So that, or we went to game 3. No, he deck dev'd me and I lost off of that. And then we went into game 3 and I believe I straight won out of that because he opened quite a good hand. But I'd opened a set Shadow Mirror, and the Shadow Mirror basically won me that game from there. So that was the Dark World matchup. Round 3 I ended up playing against Heroes. Round 1 I won fairly swiftly. Round 2 went into quite a grind game because he didn't see a monster for quite a while. Eventually he did start finding monsters and Miracle Fusions, so eventually he just powered out of that. And then game 3 we went into time, and I ended up winning in time. I think I swung for game with like a marksman. I know I accidentally tried to swing for game when I had a Moulin. I had to skip my battle phase because of Moulin, but eventually I did manage to power out of that and win. Round 4 I ended up going against Dark World again, which was my loss. Round 1 he opened, fairly decent. I just opened like Double Pike, Diva as my only playable monsters, and just dead cards in hand like a Salvage, etc. So that was kind of sad. And then game 2 I was going first and I opened the OTK, but to do the OTK I felt I needed to go second. So I set 2 back row with the 4 cards to make my OTK possible in hand, passed. He then went Heavy Storm for your 2 back row. I activated the Sphere, got an Abyss lead. So I didn't get a lead because the lead was in my hand. I got like a Megalo, and then he was like card destruction, killed my entire hand. I drew into like 3 of my side deck back row cards, but at this point he was then just going off, so there was no way those side deck cards were going to be any good after he'd already started summoning Graphas, and it was horrible. So I took my loss there. He ended up coming second, losing in the finals, and then I ended up playing against Plants in the final round, and I 2-0'd that, I believe. I Moulin turn 2, game 1. I made the Moulin play pretty much instantaneously with Megalo. And then kind of game 2 kind of wore on a bit, but eventually Maxi's put in a lot of work, and I ended up winning out of that. So we're going to get into the list. This is a bit different from the variant that I've been playing before. I took out the 6-card Undine engine, the 3 Undine, 2 controller, and Allure of Darkness, and replaced them with 6 different cards. So I'm going to go through those now. To start this off, I played 1 Abyss lead. Got to play that, muscle of the deck. Then we played 3 copies of Mermail Abyss Megalo. Still, I love 3 copies. 3 was really good. I did find myself ditching 1 to special summon the other a couple of times, but it really wasn't as inconsistent as some people make it out to be. And then for the final 2 big Mermail monsters, I played 2 copies of Mermail Abyss Teus. That is the thing that separates this apart from the OTK variant. I didn't play 3 because I wasn't playing for OTKs, but it made Gaios pretty good. So Abyss Teus was pretty good. So we'll pile this up out of the way. So that's the Mer monsters, as Konami put it. Then for the kind of Mermail, the smaller Mermail cards, I played 3 copies of Abyss Lin because I played 3 spheres. So I like to have as many Lins as I have spheres. That's my math. 2 Pike. I still don't like 3 Pike. Again, this isn't Billy Break's build, so I didn't play 3 Pike. So, yeah, that's just the number I prefer. And then 2 copies of Abyssgund. Abyssgund put in a lot of work today. There were a couple of times where I wish it didn't have the once per turn clause, but what you gonna do? Abyssgund was pretty damn good for making big eyes, etc., etc. And making just big monster plays. Like, you could sphere, get Pike, and then ditch this off a Pike to get your lead out of the graveyard and be all like, come at me. Facebook is pinging me. Then for Atlanteans, I played, of course, the 3 Dragoons, 3 Marksmen, the 3 Heavy Infantry. I still really like 3-3-3. It's never really been cloggy for me, so I just enjoy having that many optional cards to throw away with Megalo and get some fun effects, so I always love 3-3-3. Speaking of 3s, I then played 3 copies of Deep Sea Diva. Again, just Diva is so good. I really like the Megalo Diva OTK, which I did manage to get off. I only got that off once this tournament, actually, because the deck kind of shifts gears when you don't have the Undines to set up the OTK, but you still do it. The 1 Moulin Glacier, because it's Moulin, and you've got to play it in this deck. And then the 1 Gauze. And I can actually play Moulin in this compared to the Billy Break variant, because I actually have Grave Manipulation, unlike their variant. 4 spells, I played 1 Reborn, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Heavy, 1 Avarice, and then 3 copies of Salvage, which I still really enjoy playing. They were always live, to be fair. I think they drew them dead once at the start of a game, but otherwise they were just almost always live. They were really good. Definitely would not cut those down, but I might change back to the Undyne variant because it was a bit more consistent. For the traps, I played... This is actually quite a heavy trap lineup for a Mermail deck. I played 3 copies of Abysphere. Again, best card in the deck, in my opinion. Best trap in the deck. One of the best non-monster cards. 2 copies of Visquall. I felt that these would be really useful now that I was playing a lot more Mermonsters. And the ability to bring back, like, Teus Megalo, go Gaios Big Eye, and also bring back a Lind that will be destroying the end phase and get the Lind's effect is absolutely priceless. So these cards were amazing. Double Torrential, and then double Mirror Force to round off the trap lineup. That's the main deck. It's still 43 cards. No real complaints with that. I might have to cut like a Mirror Force or something from it. Then we're going to do the extra deck backwards because that's just how I roll at the moment. So we played 1 Gaios, MVP of the day. It was so good. I should probably invest in a second. 1 Big Eye, just because Big Eye's Big Eye and it's for some reason like the most expensive Xyz out there at the moment. 1 Bahamut Shark and 1 Abyss Dweller. 1 Abyss Trite. I actually got the Shark Trite play off once today, and I made Abyss Dweller once today. I hardly ever make it, but I made Dweller twice actually. It was really good today. 1 Leviathan Dragon. I never made this. Zenmains never went. No, I went into this once to crash into something, but otherwise that was it. Gachi. I used this once when I started a game quite slowly. Mistworm, never used it. Scrap Dragon, never used it. Gungnir, never used it. Duloran, I made this a lot today. This was so good. This and Abyss Squall was so good sometimes. The ability to target 3 Mermails, special summon them all, and then bounce the 3 with Duloran and like refill my hand. It was so, so, so good. So, it was like triple salvage to get like Megalos and stuff like that. So that was such a good combination. 1 Catastor, 1 Hyper Librarian, 1 Armory Arm, and then I used a blank card as a Gauze token. And then for this side, the side is kind of random, but at the same time kind of okay. I played 2 copies of Veiler, because Veiler was okay. I never actually put it in, but I like having the access to the Veiler. Double Maxi, because it's double Maxi. I put these in quite a lot, actually, and they were really good when I did. Lost Blue Breaker, I actually put this in against the hero player when he sided in Fissures, and I got it off. I was so happy to like kill his Fissure, because I had a face down Lind, and I summoned this, and he had no response, flipped up the Lind, tributed this, and killed his Fissure and started beating him down with the Lind, or without fear of the Mirror Forces that he played. Then I played 3 copies of MST. I kind of wish I mained them, but at the same time I don't really have the room. I like them inside. It's not that hard on me when I don't have them in the main, but it might be a potential change in the future. Then for the traps I played double Gozen, double Shadow Mirror. These are much better than Imps in my opinion, so I vastly prefer them to Imps. Double Imperial Iron Wall because it's really good and I want to get a 3rd in. Because it shuts down Rabbit, D-Fissure, Bottomless, and Macro and Fissure, etc, etc. So, pretty good. Then 1 Mind Crush, because this is actually really good, this format. So, I mean, I'm probably going to side a second one now, but this is really good, this format. and then 1 Dust Tornado for the added back row removal. Anyway, guys, that has been my Mermail Atlantean deck profile. My kind of tournament diary for today. I'm going to be coming at you guys with a friend's deck profile of, well, a deck profile of the Prophecy deck I lent a friend who went 3-2, so tune in for that in a little bit, which will be listed as another tournament diary. But otherwise, yeah, that's about everything I want to talk about. This has been Jamie the Kid 00, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.